when we compare the young and the old mice, and especially put on the high omega-6, their immune dysregulation is relatively way higher in aging mice. And just you don't need to give the heart attack just by putting the omega-6 that dysregulate your lipoxygenase or the
Wow.
enzymatic machinery. It means that the clear signal is that when we are moving from later in life, especially in aging condition, that time we need to titrate our omega-6 content.
As we age, it becomes even more important to pay attention to whether or not you're getting disproportionate omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids.
Yes.
In other words, you're more sensitive to the negative effects of having excess omega-6 PUFAs from seed oils as you age.
That's correct. That's correct. And because of the pandemic, we got the opportunity to use those mice because of COVID, we were restricted to the going to the animal colony, and our mice were on the omega-6. So, and they stayed more than 6 months to 10 months. So what we did is because there were many cages they were going on omega-6. So what we did is after 6 months, we transitioned back to the normal.
Yep.
To control diet, and for 4 months. So one group continuous 10 months on the omega-6 diet.
Yep.
And the one group is from 6 months, they back to the control diet.
Yeah.
What do we see? Their lipid levels are coming back to normal. Their pro-inflammatory levels are coming back to normal. What's coming? But their immune system remain relatively more inflamed than the mice, which were absolutely on the control diet in the same environment.
Wow.
It means that your omega-6 titration is very critical for your immune health. Means one thing, if you monitor your omega-6, I think way earlier, I'm sure there are some studies, they are elucidating that even during the pregnancy, it has some epigenetic modification. But even if you monitor in the adult life, they have a better outcome for your lipid management. One, suppose you're not knowing, and at certain point you start knowing that, okay, the omega-6 need to be balanced, or someone is consuming relatively high from the processed food, and then they start balancing, they will have relative less inflammation.
Yeah.
It's still much less compared to someone who is continuously going on the same path of the high omega-6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's another potential lesson here. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're doing experiments in mice that are lasting, 4, 6, 10 months at a time, keeping them on the high omega-6 diet or putting them on, taking them off. And after several months, their lipid profiles start to change and all of these things start to change. But if you were to sort of calculate that time in humans, these things are not happening overnight. So if you were to say increase your omega-6 intake or decrease your omega-6 intake, which is what most people probably should be doing because it's already high, it's not going to lead to changes overnight. It's probably going to take months or even years for your biology to catch up to that. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's 100% right, because the first thing is when you start changing in the dietary process, especially in context of lipid, first thing, lipid takes longer time to get into the body, especially because all our lipids are stored in our cell wall, which is the containing all our ingredient inside the cell.